Well, you're very welcome to the Betfred Boxing Show. We're in Manchester. We're in the old Piccadilly Hotel, the Becure Piccadilly as it is now. Parker Chisora 2, that's why we're here. It's a stat card, and a fella that knows all about a stat card or two. You didn't mention Buatsi though, Eddie.
I'm losing my touch. Obviously, Joshua Buatsi is in camp in San Francisco with Virgil Hunter. He's in a tremendous fight with Maxime Vlasov, and I forgot to mention him because he's not here. And Derek Chisora, quite frankly, had me on edge, as he always does in every press conference. But that's a great fight. Of course, Chisora Parker headlining. Gongora against Richards, great fight. Zelfa Barrett, an eliminator for the world title. Jack Cullen for the European title. Rhiannon Dixon, Jordan Thompson, David Naika, Olympic bronze medalist. Sandy Ryan, Cyrus Patterson. I think that's about it. So 10 fights, big card, and a Christmas cracker, as they say, to end the year.
Busy enough as well, isn't it, Ant? There's a few fights coming up.
Mate, just a few. Ed, looking on the undercard, strong undercard. There's a lot of northwest Manchester-based fighters. Do you look at building something to come back to the arena with them? You know, your Zelfas, your Jacobs, you mentioned it then. Zelfa, he comes through this, there's a great chance of world title could be next year back in Manchester.
Yeah, I mean, look, ever since you hung them up, mate, we haven't been able to fill the arena. So we've got to bring nights stacked like this just to get the full capacity in. But, you know, Zelfa Barrett is a guy that's knocking on the door now of a world championship shot. Tough fight against Tarimo. We've got the vacant world title that we're promoting at Madison Square Garden between Agawa and Fuzili. That's a winnable fight for Zelfa Barrett in a tough division, obviously with Shakur Stevenson and the likes. Jack Cullen's a bit of a Cinderella story, really. You know, slung him in with John Doherty, beat him. Slung him in with Adney Yildirim, beat him. Now he's getting a shot at the European title. He's going to bring over 1,000 from Little Lever. I mean, they're absolutely mental. You know. So I just feel that, you know, it's always good. I think Manchester's a bit of a different city where they come out for big fight nights. But obviously, if you've got your own there as well, Jordan Thompson from Manchester, obviously your charge, Rhiannon Dixon from nearby as well. You know, I think that more local talent the better, because we're seeing older cities come out and support their own. And, you know, it's a big fight for a lot of Manchester-based fighters that night.
You mentioned about Derek keeping you on edge before, by the way. Has he ever really changed in all the time that you've had to deal with him or is it a case of you don't know what you're going to get?
He's definitely calmed down a little bit and cooled down a little bit. Like, there was a time where he was incredibly violent, you know, and you would worry about him picking something up.
In this very city he did the table,
when he slung the table, and it was mad. I mean, but back then he was a lot scarier than he is now because he was very temperamental. He's matured. And one point that I made in the press conference was, he really loves boxing. Like, this guy is in the gym, not just training, but he's around young fighters. He spent a lot of time in AJ's camp around the Usyk fight. Like, he loves it. And a lot of people say, you know, what's on the line for these fighters? Don't worry about what's on the line for Chisora, because he just loves to fight. Like, I think if he had 7 losses on the spin, he'd still be going. Parker's looking to try and regain the world heavyweight title, and he's well placed to do that. But for Chisora, it's just about fighting and winning. And I think the crowd will make a big difference this time. Although Joseph Parker looks really fit and strong. And I think in their head, they're thinking, we're going to take him out this time, inside the distance. But, you know, 2 great coaches, Dave Coldwell, Andy Lee. I think it's going to be a really exciting fight, but I don't think it'll go the distance this time.
You just mentioned then, regarding Parker chasing the world title. Derek wins this and gets revenge. Do you think there will be a third fight, or does the winner then push on to? I
don't know. I mean, you think, will Chisora get a shot at the world title? I mean, he is commercially, he's a big name. Like, you know, he's always going to be in big fights. There are some people that say, oh, he's got 8 losses or not, whatever they are. But look who he's lost to. You know,
good company.
Like he mentioned up there, he did really beat Hellenius. Lost twice to Tyson Fury. Lost twice to Dillian White in a very close fight. The first one was ahead on the scorecards before he got knocked out in the 11th round on the second one. Lost to Vitaly Klitschko. You know, so it's not like he's been losing to probably the disappointing defeat was Ajit Kabayo in Monaco, which he couldn't get out for again in a small environment. So this will really help him on December 18th for the crowd.
When we are talking about heavyweights, there's one that never eludes conversation when you're involved as well with AJ, and you know, obviously recently there's been talk of maybe him looking at other trainers and all the rest of it. Is there anything new on that? Again, I mean, from your own point of view, different environments you've spoken of, which might be handy, but that still includes Robert McCracken as far as you're concerned, or not?
Robert McCracken is more than just a trainer to AJ. You know, he's a friend, he's a mentor, he's an advisor. I feel like AJ, you know, I think a change of scenery is sometimes good. You know, I think when he went over to America recently, it was quite refreshing for him not to just be mobbed literally wherever he is in
It's like Crolla in Manchester.
Well, of course, not just in Manchester, to be honest with you as well. But it's quite draining. I think that, not saying people don't know him in America, but it's different to literally not being able to walk. You're getting photographed everywhere, and the thing is with AJ is he's got time for everyone, and that can be extra draining. When, like, if someone stops him, he'll have a photo. So will another one. So will another one. Before you know it, he spent half an hour doing that before he's got to training. Do you know what I mean? And the fine margins between success and failure are those little percentages of rest and stuff like that. And I just feel that he's had 14 years in Sheffield now, and it's the most incredible facility. Yeah. But he is God there. Do you know what I mean? He walks in that place, you've got the amateurs who just look at him like he's pictures everywhere. I feel like, I'll say we need to go rough and rugged, but like, he's got to have that challenger mentality in this fight. And he's got it. Everything that I'm hearing from him tells me he wants to win bad and he wants to bash Usyk up, which I didn't hear any of going into the first fight. So he's angry, which is good. But no decision's been made yet. But I do think a change of scenery would be good for him in terms of where his training camp's based.
You mentioned 10 shows in 7 weeks, was it? You've got to pick one of them. What's your pick?
I mean, it's the run, really, the 4-week run of Teofimo against George Kambosos at Madison Square Garden, Haney against Diaz at MGM Grand in Vegas, Ben against Algieri and Katie Taylor in Liverpool, and Chisora Parker and Boazzi and all this stuff. So it's a great 4-week run. I mean, you kind of missed the boat a little bit in the lightweight division, Crolla. I know you boxed Lomachenko.
Didn't miss it.
You did. Well, actually, you done all right in the end. But, you know, Haney, Teofimo, Tank, Ryan Garcia. Haney Diaz, tough fight, you know. And actually, although Teofimo's a big favourite against Kambosos, I just feel that, like, it's nearly a year of inactivity and
he's a big lad at the weight. Kambosos, he's got that belief. He's got crazy belief.
And how long can Teo stay at 135? They said, Teofimo Lopez and his dad said to me, I promise you, we will knock him out in the first round. They're genuinely going for that.
They're a pair of characters.
I thought, it's a lot of money. I hope you do give me a few rounds, you know.
And then finally, from your point of view and doing what you do, I mean, how daft is it going to be now over the next few weeks in terms of your running around? The northwest of England's one thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of, like I said, 10 shows, 7 weeks, 6 different countries. So we've got, this weekend, we've got Kid Galahad, Terry Harper, Chris Billam-Smith, a European title fight. Next weekend, we've got Demetrius Andrade, World Championship triple head. He's fighting Quigley, Akhmad Aliyev, Julio Cesar Martinez, Cali Reese. The weekend after, Teofimo Lopez against Kambosos. Then on the 3rd of December in Bilbao, Jack Flatley actually has got a fight against Leraja for the European title. December 4th, Haney against Diaz. Then we've got December 11, we've got Ben against Algieri. Then we've got December 17, we're in Uzbekistan for Madrimov against Soro for the interim world title. Really good fight as well. December 18th here. I think I'm missing something as well. Yeah, I don't know where I am really, but yeah, 10 shows in 7 weeks, and it's just really at the moment about sort of keeping the missus happy, which is almost impossible. I had to do the school run this morning before I drove up to Manchester, just because you got to just tick the brownie points off, you know. So it's not easy, but wouldn't change it for the world.
2 fights behind closed doors. Usyk, Joseph, Manchester again. I'm half excited and half not, to be honest with you, because yes, I'm happy for the fight, but I might be disappointed with what comes with the fight, to be honest with you. Like, I'm going to speak to my management team, 258, that we get an American referee and then we get good judges for this fight, because you know, so many times I've been robbed. You know, I was robbed in Helsinki. You know, so many fights. I was robbed the first one here in Manchester with Dylan. That's your card as well, with the Salim brothers. I
didn't do the one in Helsinki.
No, the one in Helsinki, the Salim brothers robbed me that one, and you robbed me that one in Manchester. You know, so, but it's just one of those things, like, you know, it gets a bit frustrating. So I'm happy the rematch is on. I'm excited, you know. I got Dave Cotto now with me. You know, he did phone me, begged me to come back.
What?
Dave, so you beg me to come back. Like, Derek, come
Derek's
back.
talking shit again.
I'm like, okay, I'll come back. Yeah, so, yeah, you know, I'm right now I'm not buzzing yet. You know, I think it's not time to be buzzing yet, but I just want you, I'm going to say this honest publicly to the press and yourself, Eddie, that I need you to get a good referee, an American referee, not a British board control referee, because those guys in the past have stuffed me and they've messed me around. So if Robert Smith is listening, I do not want your referee to referee me for this fight. So that's it. The British Board of Control, they can listen to that. And then I need you to get a good referee and good judges for this fight, because I know for a fact, come 18th of December, we are going to war. You know, Joseph Parker don't scare me. He hasn't got anything which I'm scared of. I would not let. He hasn't got power punches. He hasn't got. I don't even know how they gave him the last fight, to be honest with you. You know, I'm just disappointed that they gave it to him.
Have you watched that one back? I mean, I know on the night you were.
Let me tell you something. To be God honest truth, I haven't even watched the fight with my first professional debut. I didn't even watch the fight with Usyk. I didn't even watch the fight with Dylan White twice. I don't watch my fights because I've been in them, so I know what I did. So I don't need to watch them. What I'm going to watch them for? I was in it. You know, all these fighters say, I'm going to go back and watch the fight. You were in it. You know what you did and what you did wrong. So what are you going to go sit down there and say, I'm going to study the tape now? Study what? I was in it. You understand?
You stand by you won that fight against Josie Parker?
100% I stand by I won that fight. I was the more pressure fighter. I was making the fight happening. All he wanted to do was just hold. That whole Kronk style, holding and is resting on you. That's what they do, you know, which is good for them. You know, but all I'm saying is, if I have to pay somebody, you know, if I have to pay one of the judges or anything, please let me know what account I have to send the money to. So, am I lying? Because half of the time, it's just, who do I have to pay?
Just to confirm, that won't be happening. But
no, if it happens, I'm just saying, who do I have to pay?
It's crazy, right? Yeah.
I like it because it's just away from everything and everyone.
Just chatting Morecambe there, Anthony. Just chatting with the big fella.
Morecambe, just seeing the opinion on the place. Great little town.
That's the thing, Joe. I mean, just talking before we started this. So the training base has been in Morecambe. We know obviously Tyson and the Furies, they train there next to it's part of the football ground, isn't it? But Andy was doing a bit with you in Ireland. So talk us through how it's all going.
You know, the last camp, the first camp I had of Andy was in Ireland, and then we moved over to Morecambe, and I think Andy felt it was important for me to be around Tyson and to feed off his energy and just, you know, with him being the champion and, you know, everyone in Morecambe. So I think with the second camp, we were going to look at Ireland, but it was quite hard to get back with visa issues and that, so we based ourselves in Morecambe, and I feel it was a great decision. Just the environment that we're in, the fighters that are there, you know, we're all working together to push each other and help each other. And obviously we've got Tyson there working with us as well. So Andy and I have a longer time for this camp. The last camp was a short 5-week camp to get to know each other, meet him for the first time, you know, work on different things and try to strip me from all the things I was doing before and add this and add that. So I feel with this longer time, I've had more time to adjust and actually understand what he's trying to teach me and practice it a lot more, and that's why I have the confidence that I can put on a better performance in the first fight.
I think, Joe, everyone knows like what a great, you know, boxing mind Andy has, some of the great teachers who he's learnt from. Do you feel like you've had more time to learn from that? So Andy mentioned it in detail in the press conference, how you're understanding what he's trying to get you to do. But also, does it help the fact that obviously being around Tyson, I'm sure does help, but you're in a busy gym there, even to the point of, you know, Tommy Fury's got a big fight coming up, and it's like everyone bouncing off each other. Tyson stayed in the gym. Sort of that friendly competition, do you find that's helped? I
found it's very helpful. You know, everyone bouncing off each other and feeding off each other's energy, and everyone just working extremely hard to prepare for our fights. You know, like you said, you got Tommy, Tyson, you got David Naika, Isaac Lowe, Jason Quigley, Andy Lee.
Jason
you got Johnny Ward, who was here today. So it's a great team and a great environment to be in. And like when you look over to the other person working hard, you want to work hard yourself, and everyone's pushing each other. So it's always good to feed off that great energy.
Yeah.
Interesting to hear Andy say that the one fight you won't have is with Tyson Fury. Of course, we know what he's done and where he is in the game at the minute, but is that just, you're just too familiar now, you're too friendly, you just couldn't see that possibly happening? Because friends can box each other clearly, now obviously that happens all the time, but that's just a step too far then?
I feel like, listen, I always wanted to fight Tyson because I feel he's the best in the division, and I want to challenge myself against the best. But after hanging out and sort of we're like brothers now, you know, it's like brothers. So, and I'm not even in his plans of fight. Like he's got a plan of fighting this person, that person, 2 or 3 fights and retire, and I respect that, you know. And so I'll just go down my own route and fight the best fights that I can get and work on getting the title back.
You're on your own route, like you just said there. I think, you know, you've got a tough night December the 18th, as you've seen first time. You come through Derek, you can pick any fight in the heavyweight division. I'm guessing it's going to be for a title. Where'd you go?
You know, come past Derek on December 18th, there's the...
You'll be in a great position because you'll be right at the front of the queue.
Yeah, there's the option of, you know, in the WBO I'm highly ranked, so there's the option of fighting Joe Joyce to become mandatory for the title. There's, you know, if the title does come available and they pick me to fight, then I'll take it in a heartbeat, you know, take it by fans. But, you know, there's a lot of big fights to be made. There's also Dylan White, you know, there's Dylan White, there's big fights.
There's some great fights.
There's some great fights to be made. I just want to be involved in the biggest fights and give it everything I have.
Derek Chisora is next though, and you're doing it again. Listening to Derek today, I mean, I suppose Derek can be Derek. You don't know where he's going to go. He goes off on tangents, but he was at first saying he wasn't excited about this fight, and it was quite hard to follow in a way. You know, I mean, how excited are you to do this again?
You know, the reason why I'm excited, because I've been working on a lot of things that Andy's been teaching me, and I only showed snippets of what we've been working on in the first fight. Only snippets, only what I could show in the time that we had to work together. You know, and now that we've had this longer time, I can feel the improvements and I can see the difference in myself as a fighter, not only style-wise but confidence and, you know, defense, working on this, working on that. So the exciting part for me is showing that to everyone else, because I can see it myself and our team can see it. You know, so that's the exciting part for me, and I'm excited to. This is the perfect opportunity to show that in the ring with someone I just finished fighting. You know, 1st of May, December 18. So I have to show a lot more of a better fighter than I was back then.
Joe, we're going to see the best at Joseph Park on December the 18th. Wish you all the best, and it's great to see you again, mate.
3 guys in front of me, 3 huge fights for their careers. We'll start with Zelfa Barrett. Zelfa, Bruno Tarimo, IBF eliminator for the world super featherweight title. Number 3 against number 4. Of course, we are promoting and have options on Agawa against Fuzili at Madison Square Garden, November 27th. You'll have your eye on those guys as well. Perfect fight, perfect opportunity, and I know you wanted to get your hands on Kiko Martinez again, who's fighting Kid Galahad this weekend, but this couldn't have worked out better. Really tough fight against a tough, rugged contender, and a massive fight for you in Manchester.
Yeah, of course, this is the kind of fight I need in Manchester. You know, I'm not boxed in front of a crowd for like 2 years, so, you know, I'm excited to just fight and put out a performance. And Bruno Tarimo's no pushover, man. He's there to take me out. He's rugged. He gives everything he gives. But, you know, he's made for me. You know he's not going to stand and box. He's going to come there and fight and give his all. And, you know, I'm ready for that. One
of the stars of the show, always the star of whatever show you're in, Zelfa Barrett. That's about right,
is
it? Huh?
I'm just behind him. I'm his backup dancer, man. He's made MAN dance and sing. I was, I was a part of that. So, you know, I'm just leading from Crolla.
I appreciate the love, mate, but I've said for a long time Zelfa's going to be the next boy to be, you know, packing out that arena for a long time now, and I'm dead happy here to see it.
Well, just to explain that as well, you two go back a long way, obviously. He was in the dressing room sparring you ahead of Linares.
Before that as well, Perez and stuff like that, so I knew, do you know what I mean? I'd always knew of Zelfa's talent from an amateur, but then I think I always knew the pro game was much more suited to the professional game, and I've said anyone who's heard me say it for a long time, I've, you know, sung his name loud and proud, and I'm buzzing to see him on tonight. I'm buzzing to see him here today, but December the 18th is a big night for him.
It is going to be a big night, and the thing is as well, I mean, you've been around a bit, but this is an IBF eliminator. That means that you're on the cusp of big things. Joking aside, he's Manchester's last world champion. You know, obviously this is the place we've seen champions come through over the years. Do you feel that it's your time, a bit of a baton change going on?
Of course, I believe it's my time. You know, I've come so far, in life on the way to the journey, losing people. I'm just going through it hard for it not to be on my time. Like, I can't. I'm at the finish line early, so I've just got to win. Me being bougie, saying I want to put out a good performance. It's just about winning. It's not about anything else. Because then when I've won, I'm next in line for a world title fight. So I've worked too hard. I swear, man. I learned the fighters that I've learned from is Crolla and Scott. They're so dedicated.
Quick.
Yeah. Like, you can have all the talent in the world, but dedication, man, you've got to have that. And I'm so dedicated. I'm so focused. I swear, I said it to my uncle Pat the other day. I woke up throwing an uppercut. And I woke up throwing I'm waking up throwing punches because I'm just thinking about how to beat this guy. So I'm nearly here. So I've been speaking with Anton. I've got a nutritionist. I'm doing everything right now. Everything's right. So to decide to box and what Pat was say, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a coach. So now I'm doing everything right. So I'm just ready now. I've been focusing in the gym. I've been making sure I'm the last out. I make sure I'm the last out. So when I lie in bed at night, I make sure that I can't think I could have done this, I could have done that. I make sure that I worked hard today.
So I really like what you said then. You mentioned you'd never look past the opponent, Bruno. It's a tough enough night as it is. But Shakur Stevenson aside, who's one of the superstars of the sport, and by the time you get there's a good chance he'll go up again. There's not one champion in that division who you fear, who on your day you're not capable of beating either.
Honestly, I swear, and honestly, hand on my heart, credit where credit's due. Shakur Stevenson's awesome, man. His timing, his distance, everything about that guy is awesome. Aside him, because he's a serious fighter, he's not one of them guys I cannot beat. Not one of them where it'd be like, oh, it's a tough one. On my best day, when I've got the right nutrition and the right level, I'll beat all them guys. And I do believe it. I'm not just saying it. The good fighters, but I just believe I'm better than them. Everything they do, I just do it better than them. And I'm not looking past Bruno because he's the guy that I need to beat to ignite the rest. But I'm in a division where there's one star there, and that's Shakur. If that fight is to come in future, then it is what it is. But the rest of them guys, I can beat them all.
Well, still plenty of faces obviously here at the press conference. It is Parker Chisora 2, but there's always a show stealer. You look forward to a show stealer anyway in the undercards, don't you? And it could be this fella, Lerone Richards, Spider the Boss, Mr. Hot Cross Buns. I don't know. I mean, you've got a few things going on for now, and you've got an IBO title fight as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's a big fight. A fight that I've been always wanting. I'm a big fight for such a long time now, and I've got it, and it's my time to shine.
Do you know what, Lerone? Seeing obviously what happened weekend for the first time, Canelo collecting all those belts, getting hold of a world title shot or final eliminator would have been really hard work. This seems the perfect opportunity. IBO very respected. So world titles. Do you see now winning this then puts you in line to fight for one of the others when those belts become vacant, which we do expect?
Well, to be honest, I haven't looked that far.
Yeah, one fight.
I believe that. When I first turned professional, I was very adamant to do things the traditional way. I won the British, the Commonwealth, the European title. Yeah. So I've got this IBO title shot, and once I win that, then we'll look for other options. But I'm not going to be a fool and say, I want Canelo, I want this, that, and the other, right? I know that my skill level is up there with the best, but I've got Gungor in front of me now.
Yes.
And once I've got that done, then we could talk about them. We could talk about them big fights, and it's not just Canelo out there. Do you know what I mean? There's so many other big fights as well out there, and I just can't wait to see what the future holds. Also, I don't want Canelo to vacate.
Yes, no, of course.
I would like him to stay at super middleweight and, hopefully one day face him. And, hopefully one day face him.
Does it help sort of training alongside someone for the same day? I always found it very handy, in my career, training alongside, but you're both fighting on the same bill. I know you had, did you have Hopi on as well? I know he was meant to be this weekend, wasn't it?
Meant to fight this weekend.
But
we got Jordan in the gym.
Jordan, that's it. Being in a buzzing gym, Dave's gym, absolutely flying at the minute. But you and Derek sort of both same night, does that help?
It does help. I'm motivated.
Yeah.
So even if Derek wasn't boxing on the bill,
it wouldn't be a problem.
It wouldn't be a problem, but it is nice to have Derek in the gym, and even after the gym, like working with being in a team, sitting down after the session and
of
talking
course,
about things. Like feeding off things, and with Derek, he's been around for a long time, so he knows how the sport works, and he knows how it works in terms of business-wise as well. So it was always nice to listen to what he has to say.
Well, I think we've spoken to just about everybody that's been at the press conference, Parker Chisora too, except this fella who, of course, is going to be in the corner with Derek Chisora once again. It's a little reuniting kind of story, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, it is. We had a couple of fights. The Gashi fight, which was a bit of a surprise because Gashi, everything we saw on him, he was orthodox, and on fight night it turned out to be southpaw. And then the Spilka fight, which was exciting and explosive. Then he wanted me to train him in London, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go to London. I've got my own fighters in my gym. I've got my family. And the reason why I only train a handful of fighters is so I can finish at 3 o'clock, and I'm there for the school run, and then I'm around my kids for the rest of the day. So I said to him I wouldn't do it, and I think he thought that I would, but I wouldn't go to London. And so obviously he's had a couple of fights since, and then we're back. We're back, and yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Do you know what is different this time round? It was never difficult to work with. It was easy to work with, but he gets things a lot quicker now.
Seem a bit more of a student.
That's exactly what it is. So not only does he train, he will now. Whereas before, he'd come into the gym, train, leave. Now he'll come. Depending on schedules, he'll train, and then after he's trained, gets a shower, sits down in corner, and watches. Whether it's sparring or whether me taking the other guys on the pads or whatever like that, he's watching. Doesn't matter whether it's Lerone, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Hope, or any of the other guys. So he's more of a student. And then sometimes if there's a sparring session beforehand, he'll come in early and watch the sparring and then train after. So he seems to be enjoying it, he seems to be getting it, and he just wants to learn and soak things up. So, and I'm seeing results so much better. His concentration levels are better. Although it wasn't hard work to deal with last time, it was a lot more stress last time because it just seemed harder for him to grasp what I wanted him to do. Yeah. Whereas now, it's like literally 2 weeks in, I was like, and everybody in the gym were like, Jesus, he's different. And everybody knows that he's different to what it was last time. Now, he's in a really good spot, and we've still got weeks to go. So I'm really excited.
You mentioned before, Dave, like you was very complimentary to Alexander Lee, great boxing brain, and that's who we expect a better Joseph Parker this time. You just mentioned about Derek. You see that Derek Chisora now genuinely beating the one from the first time you worked together. Yeah, 100%. His brains, he understands what he needs to do more. Not just what fighters, you know yourself, and you weren't an old fighter, but as we get older, we have to adapt. Of course.
There are things that we can't do now that we could do before, and sometimes people have an idea that you just need to throw punches, you just need to be fit, you just need to be aggressive, and just let it all go. But as you get older, you can't quite do that. So you think to yourself, well, you just have to tailor it to what you can do. Also, your recovery times are different when you're getting older. And you have to tailor it to that. If you don't tailor it to that, then you're just knocking the hell out of the fighter. And so by the time it gets to, maybe like, say for instance, the last session of the week, there's literally nothing left because they're doing the S&C as well and all this sort of stuff, and it's like, it takes its toll. By the time it gets to fight, you get them in the ring and they're literally working on percentages compared to what you've seen in gym, and you're like, I think gym they were doing this, in gym that's because they can't keep that up as they're getting older, so you have to tailor it, you have to adjust to it, and there's different things that you can do to create that, to still enable them to have that intensity in sparring and in fight night. Sparring now, and I've been in the early stages of sparring where we're at, I was very adamant on using the same sort of sparring partner, the same people that he was using for the last Parker fight, because I want to see how, and I speak to him, I said, are you seeing any difference? Every one of them that he sparred with can't believe the difference and can't understand the difference in him. Why, when I could handle it before and I could handle what we was doing before, why am I struggling more? But and then I'll go and tell Derek, and it's like, this is what I'm wanting to do, this is why it's happening, and so it's working. And then he's like, yeah, right, and it's feeding him, you know what I mean? And so I'm excited for him because we've still got weeks to go. We've got the hard part of sparring to come now, and he's only going to get better. Yeah, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a very good fight.
It's going to be a stacked card, obviously, in Manchester as well. So it's not just Derek that you've got. You'll have Lerone on anyway, but there's plenty of fights and plenty. And that's a great opportunity for Lerone, isn't it? An IBO title.
Huge. Listen, the title don't mean anything to us. I've said to Lerone, and without being disrespectful to IBO, it's nice. It's nice for your pictures, but you ain't coming into my gym saying that you're a world champion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it puts you on the nice
puts
sort
on the map.
Of course.
Right? The fight itself, right, is
good enough to be an eliminator.
Because the fight itself makes you be a fighter in that division that can say, killer plant, I'll fight you. Do you know what I mean? People at that level, it puts you in a position where you can call out them names. It's not the belt. The belt doesn't mean anything for us because people know what it is. But it's nice. It's a nice shiny belt for your picture. But it's the fight, it's the win, it's the performance, it's the statement, it's the jumping up of the levels. That's what it is. And it's a great fight. And I'll tell you something as well. Lerone's a kid that for the first camp and then 3/4 of the second camp, he'll tell you, it was doing me head in because it weren't getting it. Not that he weren't getting it, but it weren't mentally where I need him to be, to get what I need him to do. Because he's naturally, if you look at all his previous fights, he's quite a lazy fighter. He likes to do things at his own pace and just do enough to win. That's not good enough. If you want to be at the top, and if you've got potential, you're not going to get the best out of your potential by being that where that's enough. I'm nicking this round, that's enough, right? His last fight, he was very, very good. And it was like there. And I think that opened his eyes and he was like, I understand. Because every single day since then, his attitude is to be better than yesterday. Every single day since then, every sparring session has been boom, boom, boom. I've never had to have murders with him in sparring because the murders that I'm talking about is, Lerone, you're not doing enough. Lerone, you're not doing. You need to throw him. You need to do this. Don't have them conversations anymore. Now it's wicked, mate. Listen, just try this now. Just try that now. Watch when he's doing. Now it's flowing, and that's every sparring session, every day. Now I'm enjoying. I love working with him, and now I'm telling you now, I can honestly look at him, and I watch him, and I think, you're brilliant. He's not very good. He's brilliant. If you see on December 18th what I see, you're gonna go, wow. He's for real, because skill for skill, he's unbelievable. He's so good. Honestly, he's so good. All he's got to do is to go out there and do what I'm seeing in the gym. But still, what I'm seeing in the gym and still what he's doing, there's still, and he knows what this is about. There's still a percent of him that he's not expressing and he's not doing. When he starts doing that, then he's going to be something special. It really is.
We look forward to it. We'll let you go, Dave. I know it's a busy one. Everyone's been here a long, long time, as have you, Anthony. I know you and Dave want to just talk Man United before you both go.
It's cut.
Well, it's probably as good a point as anywhere to leave it then. So that has been the Betfred Boxing Show. Thank you very much for watching.